I don't know how to explain those pregnancy test reaction videos where we shouldn't be pregnant. Technically we could be. It's like a very slight chance because we're not using any specific protection method. We're just not fully completing the deed, if that makes any sense at all. But at the same time, like, I've only just had my Implanon out. Last time it took almost a year and medication to get my period back after I got my Implanon out. And so the fact that I might be ovulating already is bizarre. And then there's the fact that, like, even if I was fully fertile, like, the chance of getting pregnant with what we're doing is so slim. We're also not doing it very often because we have 2 kids and live with family. So it's just like, it should be impossible, knowing me, but it's also a chance. There is a chance. And I'm like trying to figure out what my body is doing, because for the last like almost week now, I've been having period pain and my stomach has been really sore, and I thought for sure my period was showing up, and it still hasn't shown up, and that's bizarre. I thought for sure my period was showing up, and I was like, oh wow, I'm a normal person, because it's meant to, unless there's something going on like PCOS, endo, hormone imbalances, thyroid problems, something. It's meant to show up within a month of having an Implanon removed, so I thought I was going to be normal. It didn't show up, and then I was sitting there like, what if I'm pregnant and this is the period pain that you feel when you're actually pregnant? Like, I didn't get this early on with Levi, but I did with Hayden. I kept thinking my period was going to show up with Hayden because it was painful. I ran out and I bought pregnancy tests, but the only ones that were cheap were the 3-pack of Clear Blue, which is still $15. I used to pay $17 and get a 7-pack of First Response. Now it's like $32 for that same pack. It's ridiculous, the inflation. But anyway, so I went out and got Clear Blue, even though I hate Clear Blue and it never works. And I took 2 tests and they were both like negative. They were very negative. I'll show you the reaction to those if I haven't already. I think I'll put it at the start of this video, so never mind. But there was an indent line, and it was the faintest indent line, which for Clear Blue, I don't trust Clear Blue at the best of times, so I should have just not trusted it and just assumed it was negative. Like, if anyone has been through this, they'll know it's like, it's negative. But there's the seed of doubt, and you just start thinking about that, if that makes sense. And also, it dried positive, which, like, you don't pay any notice to, because Clear Blue especially constantly is known for drying positive. But of the 3 tests from that packet, the other 2 that were definitely negative dried negative. This one has dried positive, and it maybe had an indent line in the window. So I'm like, is it the start of a very faint positive? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I need to order cheap ones so that I'm not spending lots of money on tests, but it's awkward ordering stuff when you live with family and shouldn't be trying to conceive just yet. We're not trying to conceive just yet. We're waiting. We want to be in our house, and then I now am scheduled for a surgery on my abdomen, a hernia surgery. So I'll have to wait till after that. But yeah, even though we're not actively trying, we're not fully protecting. Like, it's a form of protection, but I think it's one of the like worst forms. I say that, but then everyone I know has used withdrawal as a contraceptive, as a way not to conceive, and it's worked 100% for all of us. I've been looking at my charts, and I haven't really been fully temping. I've been trying to do my basal body temperature, but I don't get proper sleep because I have 2 kids waking me up all night. I've also been sleeping with my mouth open, I think, which I didn't think I did much, but I keep waking up with a really dry mouth, so I must be. So I don't know if that affects it too, because I'm taking my temperature orally. And yeah, it's just like, I can't just take my temperature after a decent sleep right as I wake up, because I don't have decent sleep, and I never know when I'm actually waking up. Like this morning, Levi was up from like 5 and I thought he'd go back to sleep, but he didn't. So then I took my temperature at 5:30 and then he ended up going back to sleep, but I didn't, and it was just like hectic. I've been doing that and it's been very all over the place. I've also been doing LH test strips. I only got them like less than a week ago now. I think like 4 or 5 days ago. So I've not been properly doing them until now. The first day I did it was shortly after I had like the egg white cervical mucus, which is related to your ovulation window and fertility. And I had like a strong-ish line and I was like, did I just miss my positive? Because that's what happened with Hayden. I started testing right after I was certain I ovulated because I felt ovulation pain that time. I thought I'd just missed my peak. The next 2 days it came low. It was sort of not super low, but low. And then yesterday it peaked again and it was like a proper person peak. Basically me, in the past, I've done I've done cycle tracking with bloods and the LH test strips simultaneously. So I sort of was able to work out what levels I got normally and line them up with the LH test strips. And I was having like 2 peaks of LH in my fertile window and they were low. Like I think average person is like 15 to 56 or something. I don't know the units, but units of micrograms or whatever it is of LH is their peak, and that triggers their ovulation. But mine, when I was doing blood tracking, was 7. I think I got to 9 once. So like that's a normal low basal range, not ovulating for most people. But for me, it was like 2, 3, and then it jumped up to 7. And it did that twice before ovulation. So the second time was usually ovulation. I never got a positive LH test. I just got like, it would be super duper faint and then it would get like slightly darker, but still nowhere near a positive, and then it'd go faint again. And that slightly darker bit was my peak. It was just never positive because I didn't have the levels that were positive for normal people, so that test strip didn't really show up that. But this was a proper positive. Like I feel like some people, it might have just been a lead up to a positive, or they might have not tested at the exact right time, because it's meant to be like both lines are the same or the test line is darker. Mine were the same, which has never ever ever happened on an LH test for me. So that gives me hope that my body's doing something right, and I may be ovulated today. I might be ovulating, maybe yesterday. I think today. I don't know. But then I'm like, what was all that pain about? Why am I still in pain? My stomach hurts. So I don't know what's happening. I have a few theories just looking at my chart for like what could be happening. One is that I'm not ovulating, I'm not pregnant. My endo and PCOS is causing pain outside of my cycle. PCOS can also cause your luteinizing hormone to be all over the place, and you can have like high luteinizing hormone when you're not meant to in your cycle. So that could be happening, and I could just be all over the place and nothing is actually occurring. Or I just ovulated now and I don't know what all this pain has been about. That's the other theory, in which case we did the deed 5 days ago. And we shouldn't be possible to get pregnant from that, but there's a slight chance. Otherwise, I wasn't using my LH tests and I wasn't using my basal body temperature thermometer, but just going off a pain I felt and my cervical mucus, I possibly ovulated a week ago. That might be happening, in which case I'd be due for my period in just under a week, or about a week, something like that, which would line up with when you're meant to get your period after coming off Implanon. Or I've gotten pregnant because we did the deed, I think 4 or 5 days before that possible ovulation, and this pain I'm feeling is implantation pain, in which case I should have implanted like 2 days ago, I think, or a day ago, something like that. And off my past experience, I usually implant, get super faint positives within like 24, 48 hours. And then, because my HCG with Levi at least, and I think Hayden, rose really quickly. So I get super faint positives, and then about 3 to 4 days post implantation, or 9 to 10 days DPO, I then got a better positive on Clearblue. I didn't get a good positive on Clearblue like ever, except the digital. The digital was pretty good, but first response is my main test strip, and I don't have any of those. And I'm just like, that is a potential, but I don't think it's possible, but it's a potential. And I shouldn't be hoping I'm pregnant, but I'm also hoping I'm pregnant. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I want something to be happening to explain my pain, because I hate just having pain that's not explained and doesn't have a reason that is known. Like, if I'm in pain constantly, I want it to be because my period's about to show up and my body's doing the right thing cycling wise, or because I'm pregnant and I'm growing a baby and that hurts sometimes. So like, I want a reason for my pain. I do want a third child. Lucas is happy with 2, but contemplating 3. But I do want a third child, and it's really sad getting negative pregnancy tests, even though we don't want a third child right now. It's not the right time. We are financially struggling. We haven't got a house to live in. I'm having a surgery in a couple of months, I think. They basically didn't put the surgery date on my paperwork, so I just briefly heard someone say the 1st of June, and I'm thinking that's when it is, but no one's answering me, so that's great. I have no idea. I just realized I rang on a Sunday. Anyway, so there's a lot of reasons not to be pregnant right now. Oh, someone just got a really cute baby out of a car. But yeah, that's what's happening, and I am still getting depressed and sad every time I see a negative pregnancy test. Or no blood. I want to have blood and pee and period, and be on my period. I can pee whenever I want, just about. But yeah, like, I want an answer, and I'm not getting an answer, and it's sad. Even though I should be happy that we're not pregnant, I'm not happy. Like, I should technically, logically be happy, but my hormones and my brain and everything, every part of me is not happy about that. It's just the logical part that's like, well, you should be. So yeah, anyway, that is the update. That was meant to be shorts, and it's not going to be a shorts, but oh well. Yeah, that's where I'm up to at the moment. That's why everything's happening. Bye bye, peoples.